There we go. Can you hear me? Oh my god, my mic was set wrong. Functionality failed. Restart the app. Oh, it gets better. It gets better. Oh my gosh, if I close that, it's probably gonna crash. It's probably gonna crash. 2 seconds. Let's just circumvent this. Okay. Does that sound okay? I I didn't check it before I started because it usually works well. The NVIDIA broadcast program that I use, it's a program from NVIDIA, the video card people. I have an NVIDIA graphics card on this computer, and it's a program that one of the things it can do is it can modify your microphone to make it sound cleaner, remove noise automatically, because normally that's a big problem streaming and doing stuff. Hey, New Vegas, welcome in. And apparently that program crashed. I didn't know it, and it wasn't playing my microphone properly. So I just had to switch in my streaming program to use my microphone directly and not the NVIDIA thing. So my mic audio is going to be funky, and it's going to be what it is today. So just sorry, it might not be as clean. You're going to hear all the background noise, every sniffle, every throat clear, every little thing that goes on, every dog bark, everything is going to come through today, for better or for worse. If it's too quiet at all, let me know, and I can boost the gain a little bit. If it's too loud, I'll lower it. I had it adjusted for the broadcast, so I don't know what it's going to sound like. So just let me know if it sounds weird. Anywho, it looks like it's working and you can hear me. So yay, I'm here. Hi everybody. Once again, I'm barely watercoloring. Okay, that's over with. I hope everyone's having a good week. It's Thursday. I was here on Monday and we painted apples. I have that off to the side. Hold, 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 hold. Here it is. I put it in the drawer. Here's how the apples came out from Monday, if you weren't here to see them. And then I went off the rails. I started getting tired, so I didn't feel like putting shadows on or anything. And then I was like, space. We're going to do space apple at the bottom there. So that's what that is. Little space baby one. The rocket launch was cool. I hope I got to watch it. I did not. I was working and I didn't think about it, but I am hoping to come across an article at some point about it that shows it, and then I will sit there and watch it then. Or I'll spend some time looking for it later. I'll get around to it. I at least heard about it. One of my coworkers was super excited about it, and they were talking about it the whole time, so at least I knew that they got off the ground. And so far, the biggest news I know about it is that they had an issue with Microsoft Outlook being open but not working 2 times. I don't know, that was some news for people that care. Even in IT, and I'm like, whatever, it's NASA. It's still going to be a regular computer, so whatever. And yeah, apparently they had issues with their email in space. Okay. That's the first thing we got to worry about. Email in space. But it's okay. Email makes the most sense for communication anyway, to be fair, because the further away you go, the more time delay there is, to the point where it's minutes away. So it makes sense for a delayed communication. They had a toilet issue after they launched, but they fixed it. I thought I heard that there was a toilet issue. I'm curious what that was. I once been twice shy and watched the after video. Yeah, yeah, from like Challenger blowing up, right? Yeah, that was a terrible thing to have to see. I was a kid when that happened, but I remember we were in. For me, I think we were in elementary school, and I think we were actually watching the launch live, and and that happened. I just a terrible terrible thing. It's just something you don't expect or want to happen. And it's such they're such big, complicated machines, and you just think we put so much money and effort into making those things and trying to make them safe, and then it comes down to like the cheapest bidder to build stuff, and all it takes is one little overlooked mistake or one flaw, and the whole thing goes up. It's so dangerous. I seriously hope we find a better, safer alternative to be able to get into space, to be able to make it more commonplace and easier to do, so we can start doing even more science in space without being a huge expense and a cost to life, if or danger of life being lost someday. Coffee. Let's get it right in the middle. There we go. You can look straight down to my coffee. Um, I mentioned it right when I started. Tomorrow's my birthday, and my other half went and picked me up a couple things. Like, we don't do like big birthday bash presents and stuff anymore. But he was nice enough to go get me a couple things. I was mentioned before that I was running out of acrylic ink, white acrylic ink, so I've got this now. He got this for me to replace my other one that's running out, so I can use this for doing stars. So we can try this out today since I'm doing Nebula. But he did two other really nice things for me. Happy birthday if you don't see me online tomorrow. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to be 43. Getting older. Whoops. Thank you. Thank you. My other half also got me some of these. Nothing wants to focus today. I swear I need to put something behind all of this so that I can let it focus on stuff. There we go. Some water brushes. They're built for you to put water in the handle, and you can take them with you when you travel, and you can paint on the road without needing to bring a lot of excess like water containers with you. So yeah, you know, everyone who's young says I'm old. Everyone who's old says I'm young, and everyone who's my age says that we're just getting older and surviving and just living our lives. Like, it's so amazing the perspective from both sides of the equation. I don't feel like a baby angel, but that's okay. I'm just gonna be happy with what I have and be thankful that it's not worse. And someday when things are worse, I'll look back on these days and be like, man, I wish I was as young as I was then. Check out the different tips on these too. They're not all the same. Focus. 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 Did I seriously have to put something behind it? Well, this is the other thing that he picked up for me, so I'll show this in a second too, but there we go. But yeah, see those three different tips? Fine, medium, and flat. So like a chisel kind of tip, I imagine, or just flat in general. So that'll be fun to use outside. Oh, we're all babies at heart and spirit. Oh, yes, we are. We so are. It could be 110, struggling to survive every day, and you're still, in your mind, a baby. Your body might feel old, but in the grand scheme of things, I think we're all children. I have mentioned in the past that when I do stars, I get the paint everywhere. Even recently I said this. And one of the other things he picked up for me was one of these little foam displays. Like a little fold-out project board. It looks like that one you see on that green part of it where it folds out. So that I can set it in front of me here behind the camera and fold the pieces out. And when I spritz with my toothbrush or brushes with white acrylic on it, I won't get the paint everywhere. It's still going to go places, but I can protect like at least a section around the back end of things. So we'll open this up when we go to put stars on today. I think that'll be really fun to see how that works out. And it's made from foam core, so it's a good material. Nice and lightweight, but at the same time not like, it's foam, so it's waterproof. So it should be waterproof, so I shouldn't have to worry about liquid stuff getting on it and ruining the surface. So heck yeah, I've got some water brushes that I'm not going to really use here when I'm painting. Thank you, Vegas. I will grab some additional coffee here in a second. I'm not going to necessarily use these water brushes now. I really think I'll probably use them when I'm going out somewhere. So I can keep my good brushes here. Maybe I'll bring one or two with me at some point along with this and just try to learn how to paint from this. I know the quality won't be as good, but it's portable, so that's its benefit. So I'll keep those to the side. But what are we going to paint? And what on? Good looking question. Let's have some coffee. Oh, coffee. Oh, you make me so happy. Okay, anyway. Let's grab some paper. We have two options. We've got this cutout that I have left over from last time I did the apples. It's the other half of the paper. Or we could do a whole sheet. And that's what I was thinking. Cheered? Thank you. Ah. Aw, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's so sweet. It's not often I get bits. That's awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Makes me very happy. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's so sweet. Thank you. I've turned off like a lot of the monetization stuff. Those are still available, you know, bits and donations and all of the cheering and all of those things. They're also there, but I just turned off the ads. Someday if suddenly there's like 500 people watching, I mean that's probably a good time to monetize and start making some income from that because that's when it's worth it. When it's a couple dollars, I don't really care. I have a full-time job, so I'm fine with it. But I think the ads are just an annoyance. It's great if you're trying to build it up and every little bit counts. Go out there and get it, man. But for me, I'm just kind of, I'm not really feeling the ads anymore, so I've turned them off for a little while. It feels like an interruption. Every time I try to talk or do something, there's ads happening, and I'm like, ugh, again? So we'll keep this to the side. Well, you can probably use this for another day. But my thought is, of course I did. Let me fix that. It's all me. I'm totally spaced on that. That's the beautiful thing about this. It's Velcro. Put that back. Get back there. Get on there. Get it. There we go. I went to reach for this and I accidentally pulled the hook off the wall, off the where it's connected underneath here. There's a little hole on the top of it, so I've got it hung on a hook. And the hook that I used, I have a little like plastic command hook, or it's meant for a command strip to go behind it. But what we did is we used the command strips that have Velcro on them on both sides. I like the strong like plastic Velcros, like the ones that have teeth on both sides and they interlock really well. And when I pulled it off, I ripped the thing right off. But it's Velcro, so it just went right back on. I was watching videos about cheap apartments and hotels in Japan, and you can get really, really cheap ones. You can. So videos about Japan is like one of our weaknesses in this household. Of all of the countries in the world, Japan feels the most our speed for a lot of ways, right? One, everything is written down. Paperwork is key to getting anything done, and it's very organized. And at least for me, the idea of all of that is kind of nice, but once it's done, and I appreciate that. The big things are, it's so weird that they're slightly antisocial. It's kind of just part of the culture that, mind your own business. And it's not like, I mean, the bad parts of it is the keep everything to yourself and suffer in silence. That's bad. I don't appreciate that. They don't need to do that to themselves, and I'm not going to do that. But the kind of minding your own business when you're out and about and like don't peer over at what other people are doing, and they won't really do that too much to you. They might judge silently, but they're just going to do their thing and not speak and walk away. And we could learn a lot of that in this country. But the other aspect of that is people say that it's also a very lonely country because it's really difficult to be able to make friends and keep them and be able to communicate with them. But that's already a problem I've got here. So that, again, is not a problem for me. Benefits would be food. Their food is just a delight. I love the idea of nearly all their food. Like most places, there's weird shit that I'm not going to eat, but a good majority of it, sushi, a lot of the stuff I'm going to have. I'm probably not necessarily going to try horse meat. They do that there in a certain prefecture, but like having access to everything else is just sounds amazing. Being a foreigner, I mean, I don't care. That wouldn't bother me. I would just live my life because I live my life inside my home and don't really go anywhere to speak of. And I would probably do that there too. And when we go out for a task, we do the thing. If we're going to go out and explore, we go out, we explore, we come back home, we live our life inside our home in our little cave, and we're happy. It's like anywhere else in the world. I won't care. Just give me the ability to order things on Amazon and the ability to have high speed internet, and I'm good, right? Living there would be great. They eat whale, but it's not as common, and whale fishers are old and dying out. Well, that's good. I can't imagine there's very much meat on a whale that you want to eat that's meat. That's not like, I don't know, something weird. I don't like the idea that it's a whale. I mean, leave them be. They're giant. They're just let them live their lives. I mean, they were nearly fished out of extinction. Some of them I think were, just for their blubber, and it's just not something that should ever been done. But sushi. I mean, like just I'm fine with sushi. I heard eating meat is not very tasty. Oh, like the meat of a whale? I imagine not. A lot of seafood is not as good as people try to claim it is. Some is great. Some fishes are wonderful. But some stuff is gross. Like, you're never going to find me eating oyster. I've, I've tried it once in like a piece of it from like a buffet, and it's just as slimy and gross, and I have no appeal for that. BRB going to smoke? Go for it. Yeah, but Japan would be like probably a number one place to live for us if we ever thought about moving to another country. The only downside, like, it's pretty common. Moving to another country involves, one, you usually have to have a decent amount of money or a plan to earn money when you get there. And the problem is that most of the visas don't allow you to work. And if they do allow you to work, it's like most places, they will want to hire people that are local before they hire someone foreign. And that just makes sense. They need to take care of their own first. So most of the jobs that you can get there either have to be self-employment, doing YouTube content, something where you make money from that consistently to survive upon, or working teaching English, which sounds boring. I don't want to do that. And it's just side jobs where it's like they're looking for Americans to speak English to people that want to speak English or want to hear English for whatever the thing is, as like a translator or whatever, right? And that's like, oh, you're using me for my language skill for knowing English, but I don't know Japanese, so I'm going to be spending years trying to learn Japanese. I mean, clearly I'll have to if we move there anyway, at least to some degree. Especially like, where's my tape? Here it is. Especially like, sorry, spacing. Especially like conversational, right? Being able to at least communicate, going out to places, going to convenience stores, grocery stores, other shopping places, getting gas. I mean, bumping into someone, saying I'm sorry. It was just all the things, all the phrases. It's not just like learning a couple phrases is one thing, but then if someone starts rapid firing Japanese back at me, I'm going to be like, stone face, like, what? I don't. What did you say? I'm sorry. That's gonna be like the only fear, not being able to communicate. It's the hardest part. So it's a thing. It has a potential to be really cool and really scary. So it would still be fun though. I think it'd be very worth visiting. I'd love to do that. So at some point, I don't even have a passport because I've never gone out of the country. Well, I have. I mean, we have our enhanced IDs, and that lets us go to Canada. But right now, with the whole political climate, because of who is in control of the U.S. right now, being what they are, nobody's really happy with America right now. Well, I mean, the ones who are smart, who know that it's not America as a whole, know that it's so they're not necessarily holding out or holding it against us, but at the same time, they're like, you guys voted. I'm like, I didn't vote for that. a lot of people didn't. It's okay. I believe that in the grand scheme of things, everything evens out. You know? It just sucks in the here and now, but it will get better in the grand scheme of things. Sometimes things have to get worse before they get better. Sometimes the going worse is what shines a light on it so that it can't happen again. It proves, wow, we gave the negativity too much power to be allowed, so maybe now we should not allow that anymore, right? And maybe, just maybe, it means that when we have the good things figured out, they should get codified into law so that they can't be undone by unscrupulous folk. So everything works out. It may not feel like it in the moment, but it gets better. That's way too close on the paper. That's better. Right, let's press that down really good. And I'm thinking what I'm gonna do is like a partial grid pattern. I'm gonna do kind of like the that's so neat. The bits. Honestly, sometimes I forget bits are a thing. And then I remember it when I see people on bigger channels get cheered bits. It's really sweet. I will use that toward, once I get to the point where I can cache those things in, I will work toward doing a nice cup of coffee in the outside world. All right, I think all of that is in. Let me, what was that? Don't need the big tape over here anymore. Let me scoot that away. So what am I thinking? I don't think I'll need the ruler, but we can get that out just in case. I probably won't use it, but I'll keep it out just, you know, in case. What I'm thinking is I want to do kind of, you know, maybe I want, no, the thicker size is better. Since I'm going to do each one kind of individually, so the colors are going to be different each, using some thicker tape is better, because then I've got a little bit of buffer room if I make a mistake. I have to just get underneath it so I can grab it. Oh, this is a new rule. I must have one in there that's already started, but I'm just going to use this because it's out. So I don't think, God, will you come off? There we go. Jeez. So I'm thinking is I'm going to do like varying sizes. So I think I'll do like this kind of thing, right? And I'll do here and try to do kind of just eyeball how even it might be. Because being able to get it perfectly even, perfectly straight is going to be, I think, really difficult. Yeah, that looks fine. And let me bring this closer so that I'm looking down on top of it. You might not be able to see it as well, but I need to bring it closer so I can see it, I think. Okay, and then let me maybe do a little longer. All right. And do like this. Do I like that? Yeah, that'll be alright. Alright. On a Tuesday night. Record shop. turn those on. Alright, and cover that up and do one of these. I'm back, welcome back. Hope you had a good smoke. Alright. Excuse me. Alright, let's do a shorter one on this side. Because we can. I don't even know who that is. Do I like, I don't even know how to pronounce it, Kashama Sawant? She's in Seattle and is part of the Seattle City Council for 10 years. No, I don't keep up with politics hardly at all. Like, the only politics stuff I know is the unfortunate, annoying stuff that makes the news. And even then, sometimes I just don't pay attention to it. So many people are like, you need to take part in politics. It's so important to make your voice heard, and that is true. But there's so many people doing it. And that kind of thinking stresses me, personally, stresses me out. I don't have a desire to want to do that. So, for a good portion of politics, I don't take part. My one voice is not enough to push things over, the edge in any one direction or the other. It's important, but once I have placed my vote and the decision has been made, I have very little say in what happens afterward. And I aligned that wrong. And harping on it does not help me. Emotionally, physically, does not help me. Oh, that worked. And while it is important, I know it's important. I'm not blind to that. But my stress level, my blood pressure being peaked and getting overheated and enraged over something going on happens in the house. And once we get to the point where something needs to be done about it externally, if there is a vote for it, or if it's important enough and there is a march for it, and I feel like I need to actually take part in it, I will. When I don't, I don't. And because of that, other people's voices are heard. And while I agree with them, or don't, depending on the scenario, I don't want to take part. If things were being done properly, I wouldn't have to worry about it. And the fact that it is not being done properly means we're not in a world where a singular voice matters unless that voice does something drastic. And I'm not the kind of person to do something absurd and drastic. I don't want to. I don't need to. I care about, quite frankly, no offense, but I care about myself and I care about my loved ones. And being able to take care of them directly is more important than going out and shouting for thousands of people to hear. Especially when I don't really know all of the things that are going on. To be able to make an informed outcry about something. So, I'll just leave it. I don't think I did this one long enough. Oh no, I did. There we are. I'll push all of this down and get it pushed down harder in a bit. Do I think all of that stuff politically is important? Absolutely. I think there's tons of people that are already doing it, right? I think a nationwide general strike would make change. I think it would make a statement. I don't know if it will make change. I think what would make change would be like a variety of ways to make voices more fair, right? Like right now everything is broken up in a very strange way. Everything's broken up not based on the number of people that are here. It's broken up into districts and regions and and electoral college votes and that kind of nonsense, like to try to even the scales enough that remapping and changing districts is able to change the outcome of a vote. That's wrong. The ability to have more power or less power via a vote should be based on each individual. It should not be based on where somebody drew a line, right? That's just one flaw. I think that might be a little off. Let me. Yeah. Let me fix that. Try picking on your own damn side. It's just really unfortunate. You know, it is terrible to say, but it's going to take something drastic happening to create change. And the kind of drastic thing that happens is usually death, war, famine, plague, taking out the population. I mean, it's terrible, but that would cause a change to happen, right? Or war, civil war, not some external war. Civil war would cause more change in our country than anything. It doesn't mean we should do it, just that it would cause change. I don't know. It sucks. It all sucks. I don't know what your political ideology is if you don't have to tell me, but I am a revolutionary socialist. That is really interesting, and I don't know what that means. You're going to have to tell me. Politically, I am a boring ass Democrat. And that just means I believe in doing what's right for everyone. Leave everybody alone, but at the same time, let people be themselves. And just live your freaking life and leave everybody alone. Be good to each other. Don't be hateful. Care more about people than money. While money is important and makes the world go around, maybe money shouldn't be what the driving force behind humanity is anymore. It never should have been in the first place. Sadly, the rich don't see it that way. I wonder why. If they didn't have money, what would they be? They'd still be their shallow, hateful selves. They just wouldn't have money to be their source of power, because that's all they know how to do is make money. They don't even know how to spend it. They really don't know how to spend it. They just know how to make it. It means in order to achieve socialism, a revolution will have to happen to overthrow capitalism. Basically, yes. No, that's exactly right. There has to be more of us than there are of them, and we have to realize we have more power than they want us to know we have. You know? Yeah, I like this look. It has a very, like, the Partridge Family vibe to me. That kind of retro style where there's different sized rectangles on the page. I like that look. I like the look also. Thank you. We barely started yet, but the shape is nice. I mean, there's some a slight amount of curviness to some of the tape, but I mean, it's okay. One, it's tape. It's not going to be perfectly straight. I'm in control of the straightness of it, and I mean, I'm already not straight, so why do my tape lines need to be? And it's just, it is what it is. It's going to be okay. I'm sure there's a better way to make perfectly straight lines. Like, it just takes a lot of patience to get the tape down exactly right. Like, this one curves downward a tiny bit on the right, but, you know, I'm fine with it. It'll be cute. Let me tamp it down really well so that when we go to paint, hopefully we don't have very much escaping under the tape. I'll try not to make it too terribly wet, but the first layer at least has to be, so we'll see. Yeah, this is also quite big, so I don't know if it's going to be completed today. We're already 43 minutes in. I haven't put a drop of paint down yet, so I mean, we'll try. Yeah, I mean, politics are exhausting, man. It's just, and it's not fair for like people like me who just am wore out from it and don't care anymore. It just want things to just get better and be done. I'm tired, which unfortunately I know is what they want. They want you to be too tired to fight back, too beaten down. There's plenty of people who are able and capable and willing to fight. And what fighting I do can be surreptitious. I don't want to be shouty about it. Just Jack, hi. Do you and your partner agree on what is the best Star Trek? Well, I don't know. I don't know what he thinks the best Star Trek is. But the thing is, what is the best? I mean, it's really hard to try to say the best Trek because what are you trying to say when you're asking the question? You know what I mean? Like, what do you think is the best Trek and what is the worst one that should have never been made? Well, I think that's a terrible question because the point of Star Trek is not supposed to be look how action it is, look at how this and that and the other it is. The most important part of Star Trek, to me anyway, is it's supposed to be about utopia. And every time they vie or stray away from a utopian type of visibility, a utopian type of view on the world, it hurts the original idea of Star Trek. It's supposed to show what we can become, not the same problems we have today, but 900 years in the future. You know what I mean? Like, some of the problems never change because we're human, but some of the stuff we're supposed to grow out of, and it feels like we don't. So, picking a best Star Trek is so hard. For me, how I view what I consider best is weird. I like Federation starships. Weird. I know, right? There's so much in Star Trek that people could latch onto for what they like, and I'm the one that likes the look of Federation starships. So I tend to figure out my joy of a show, at least my joy of which ones I love the most, based on the aesthetic. Isn't that weird? Like, I love the aesthetic of Federation starships, but only some, right? So, like, I like the original series. It's okay. It was plain because they didn't have the money, right? Hey, Goddess, welcome in. For me, the era I love the most is the Next Generation, Voyager, and Deep Space Nine era of Federation starship design. All of the other ones are good in their own ways as well. Strange New Worlds, for example, did a beautiful chef's kiss job on the Enterprise. I mean, what a glow up. Like, they didn't mutilate it. It was truly like a modern day interpretation of a refit version of the Enterprise, and they did such a great job on that. Do me and my partner agree on which Star Trek has the best ships? I don't know. I'll have to ask him. I don't know if he really cares about the ships as much either. Let me ask really quick. Hey, love. Question.
Yes.
Very quick question that someone's asking. When it comes to Star Trek, which is your favorite Star Trek, and which is your favorite Star Trek because of the way the ships look and how cool they are?
The series as a whole?
Which series as a whole do you just like the most that you gravitate toward?
Voyager.
Me too. Voyager. There it is. Voyager. A man from my own heart. And then the ships. Which ones do you like because of like the look of the ships and how neat they are by comparison?
Oh.
Because that can be different. I love Federation starship designs, but I especially love the Next Generation, Voyager, Deep Space Nine era of Federation starship design.
Oh,
but any of the ships can be cool. They can be different races and whatever. It could be the new series with their ships and how they make them, and how like floaty and rotaty they are. It could be the original series with how classic they were.
Oh.
It could be anything you want. Which ones do you like because of the ship design?
Well, clearly the Federation.
Federation ships are cool. Yeah.
I've seen enough of the other species that I don't really like any of their designs.
Yeah. No. It's so hard to find another race's ship design that you like because they're built to be so different because they're supposed to think differently.
Well, the bird of prey is kind of cool.
Which one? There's two. There's the Romulan birds of prey, and then there's the Klingon bird of prey.
The Romulan one is cool.
The Romulan one, the really big green one
Yeah.
that's like hollow in the middle. The one I think I have somewhere.
Yeah.
I think it's in a box. Cool. Yeah. I agree. The Romulan bird of prey is really cool.
Yeah.
It's super cool. It's just giant and green. It looks like a vulture or a
But
hawk or something.
from all the other ones, they're just ships.
Yeah, they're just ships for all the other races. I agree. Okay. Well, there it is. Thank you, love. I just got some empty hexagon watercolor pans. Ooh, that's fun. That's super cool. Wait, man, I want to see that so bad. Voyager? Goddess? I love Jack. Just Jack. I love that name, by the way. Just Jack. Honey, I have to ask, which Enterprise is the best? Also, the wrong answer means you sleep on the couch tonight. Oh, that's funny. Oh, well, thankfully they're all great. No Strange New Worlds? Oh, yeah. Oh, it's so good. Seriously, like, if I had to rank the modern Star Trek shows from Discovery forward, my favorite for sure is Thank You, Watercolor Husband. Ha! Ah, that's your new name. Watercolor Husband. I love that. Yeah, I think my favorite out of all of the current gen series from Discovery forward, it's hard, but I have to say Strange New Worlds first because they have done such a beautiful job of doing a modern day version of an episodic Star Trek. I love it. My next favorite after that is Picard, especially the third season. They did great with the third season. And then from there, I think it's a pretty even split between... Hey, thank you for the follow, Just Jack. I appreciate you. I would say the last would be an even split between Discovery and Star Trek, Starfleet Academy. Discovery is good. I kind of like the storylines, but it's pretty good. I didn't really hate it. There were some annoyances, but I mean it was all overlookable in the grand scheme of things. And I think Starfleet Academy was doing great. I think it was wonderful. When is Strange New Worlds in the timeline? Great question. Strange New Worlds takes place shortly before the first 5-year mission of the original Star Trek. So it is with Captain Christopher Pike and his crew before the... I think it's just before the original series by a certain number of years. I don't know if they've specified exactly how many years. It could be 10 years. But it's not long before the original series and Kirk takes over the Enterprise. Yeah. Pike. Yep. Captain Pike with the beautiful hair. Yeah. It's absolutely great. So good. Let's get started. I'm almost an hour in. I don't have any paint on here yet. Let's try some stuff, and we can talk while we go. Let me pick a larger brush so I can just be able to throw paint on here and play a little bit more. You get that over here to the side. I'm gonna go ahead and spray down my watercolor palettes. Activate paint. Spray my little plates of them as well. I have some tape right here. Goddess. No, I saw the first episode because they let you watch the first one free on Apple TV. Yep, I remember you mentioning that, and you got hooked. But yeah, you don't have Hulu. I don't know if it's on Hulu. The place I've seen all the Star Trek shows is where they posted it originally, and that's on Paramount Plus. So it might be beneficial to do, like, when you know you've got the time, prepare yourself for a binge of watching, and do maybe like a free trial of Paramount Plus and binge watch all of it, right? And just be prepared. Like, go through and binge through all of Strange New Worlds. Watch as many of the other shows as you want. I suggest doing it in the order I mentioned. Strange New Worlds is beautiful. Picard is a great series as well, and it's wonderful to see all the old cast come back, at least as many as they got. Discovery is worth watching once, just so that you can see it and understand it. And then Starfleet Academy has been good. It completed its first season a couple weeks ago. The second season was already filmed, and they've already canceled it because, people, we can't People. People are terrible. They hate it. Some people, a very small amount of people, vocally hated it enough to get it pushed off the air. Yeah. Like, hopefully, we're still going to get the second season. They haven't, I don't think, done any of the expensive special effects work yet. So, hopefully, that's already paid for and going to be done. But they finished filming it. So, I mean, we're going to see. We're going to see what happens. Strange New Worlds has, I think, 2 more seasons left, a full 10 episode season, and then a shorter 6 episode final season. All that's filmed and not yet aired. So at least those are coming still down the tubes. Oh! I completely forgot about the animated shows. Lower Decks. The entire series is wonderful, wonderful, and it's also on Paramount Plus. So you can watch the entire Lower Decks series. It is beautiful, a masterclass in being able to do a beautiful blend of an animated Star Trek that has the hints of comedy and callbacks to all of the previous Star Treks to come before them, and the love and the desire for it. It's a beautiful show, and I am not a critic. I'm going entirely off of my previous Star Trek knowledge and my instinctual joy at watching the shows, and I love all of them enough to give them all credit where credit is due. I think fighting to get a Star Trek show off the air and hating on Star Trek shows in general is bad. And the reason I say that is because look at how long it took after Enterprise, Star Trek Enterprise with Scott Bakula as Captain Archer, went off the air before we had another Star Trek after that. Because the studios were terrified of the franchise. It starts great for like the first season, and then it just starts tanking season after season after season. The newer shows do better to some degree, but some of them get review bombed and hated on so much because people are like, no, it's not my Star Trek. I want it gone to make room for something else. All the while not realizing that them specifically hating on every new Star Trek that comes out means the studios don't want to do Star Trek anymore. So the people hating it and saying, no, I want the old Star Trek back. I want the Next Generation and Voyager and Deep Space Nine era type shows. I want those back. I want that feeling back. Go back and watch the old shows then. You've got 7 seasons of every one of those 3 shows with like 24 or 22 episodes each season. You have so much content to watch. Get it there. The new stuff is what the new stuff is. Learn to love it, because when you hate it, they take it all away. And it's going to be another 20 years before we see Star Trek come on again. You know? So it's just people ruining it for themselves, and they're going to be dead by the time the next Star Trek stuff starts coming out because they have pushed it all away. So there's not going to be anything. It's just so hurtful, the way these people think, and they just don't quite understand it. It's so terrible. Oh my gosh, Enterprise was so bad. It had some positive moments and some negative moments. Again, the ships. I love the ships. Some of the crew I loved, some of the crew I didn't love. Like, some of them didn't get enough screen time. But like, I love Dr. Phlox from Enterprise. He is a wonderful character. I absolutely love him. Scott Bakula, I want to say I love him, but he is the most monotonous, boring, flat captain in a Star Trek series that I've ever seen. More so than Kirk. More so than Picard. But I love the character enough, and I love the actor enough to be able to overlook it. I don't hate the show because a character is not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Except for 7 of 9. I mean, literally, she is perfection. The same with the Who franchise. I really hate what they did on the Doctor. I liked one character, the blonde guy. In Enterprise, blonde guy. Trip Tucker? I think Trip Tucker, right? I mean, they sold me on Trip Tucker on Enterprise when they ran him around the ship mostly naked in his blue underwear with a tight little bulge going on. That was glorious. But I mean, that was about the extent, you know. Uh, and apparently, unfortunately, he's kind of a gay hater. I mean, not strongly, but enough for it to be known. Yeah, it's in the first season. I don't know which episode. I don't remember, but if I remember right, there were. Was it when the Ferengi took over the ship? I don't remember. I think it's when some Ferengi took over the ship. I think he and T'Pol, their Vulcan science officer. I think they were in the little decon chamber, rubbing gel on each other. I could be wrong. It has been a while since I've watched it, but it was good. Hey, Desert Dragon Lover, welcome in. I consider myself a fan of Enterprise because of supporting elements. Yeah. I love that actor in Stargate Atlantis. Yes, the same guy. It's oh fudge, I know his name. Trip Tucker was. Not something Montgomery. That was the pilot. It's okay. I know what you meant. I'm forgetting it. I think he and the guy that was the armoring officer, those two actors, they do a podcast. Literally, like a podcast. Trip Tucker. Is it Charles? No, that was his name in the show. Trip Tucker. Not Trip Ticker. Thank you for trying to autocorrect. Trip Tucker. Here we are. Played by Connor Trenier. That's right. Yeah, Connor Trenier. Focus. No. Yeah, there we go. That guy. Yeah, but they do a podcast. Him and I don't remember. Yes, the guy that played Malcolm Reed. Dominic Keating. Focus. Okay, come on. Play nice. Focus, you jerk. Okay, well, that's not going to play nice. Really? Come on. Is it the paint? Every time it's trying to focus on the paint? Okay, well, there we are. That guy. The two of them have a podcast together. I've not listened to. I think it's called Decon Chamber. I could be wrong. Or maybe they renamed it. I don't remember. I remember that scene when you describe it in the chamber where they're getting sanitized. Yeah, there was one, like, what was the one where Trip Tucker underwear. Let's not get banned on Twitch, but I'm going to at least try to find out what episode it was. Tucker rescuing Enterprise in his underwear. Yeah, it was. What episode was that? Does it say? I might need to switch this to just chatting. It feels like it, right? That's fine. I'm gonna start painting in 2 seconds. Yeah. I don't remember the episode name, but yeah. You know what they do for sex appeal. They try to appeal to different audiences, so they do things like bring Jerry Ryan on to play 7 of 9 in a skin-tight suit to replace Jerry Ryan. To replace, not, that was who it was, to replace the girl that played Kess. My brain is going stupid, more so than usual. And then she went off and got crazy, like crazy. I don't know why. So go ahead and do this top section. I'm going to go ahead and spray the paper down, at least the top part. Instead of sitting here trying to brush water onto it, I'm just going to do that to save my brain. I can't remember her name. Probably because they replaced her with an Amazon in a skin-tight suit. Yeah, I know, right? It's okay. To be perfectly frank, though, I absolutely love Jerry Ryan, and Kess was never going to be around long. She lived 7 years in her world. It wasn't ever going to work, right? Okay, so let's pick on a color. Let me grab a yellow. All right, I'm going to just hit some areas here. And let this just naturally fade out on this side. Okay. But you know, my paper towel is all the way over here. Let me rejigger some stuff and put this up above it. That should be enough. Excuse me. That should be enough. Alright, she was gonna die anyway, but that would have been such a great story arc for that character, though, to let us see her age gracefully and quickly, and how that would shape her relationship with Neelix. Yeah. I mean, Neelix didn't even stick around. He left on the second to last episode, or third to last episode. One of the two, I don't remember. He found love and stayed on an asteroid with a bunch of Talaxians. Alright. I've already got some red here. Let's use some of that. Right, and let's do this one from the other side. Let's do some over here. And the same thing, I'll just let it fade out on this side. Okay. I'm going to spread it around a little bit. With my knees. Okay. And let's grab some ultramarine. All right. And maybe just a little bit of indigo. Just put a little bit in a couple spots. Okay. And I'll let that sit there and think about what it did. I was thinking you might try Brusho out. I'm curious. What does that mean? Was that a typo, or I'm just misunderstanding? Like brushing it out? I need clarification, Krista. What do you mean? Is this still wet? Wow, that dried up immediately. It's a product. Brusho? What's Brusho? Let's look that up in a second. Spraying this did almost nothing. I think because I didn't spray it enough. And maybe I'll add some additional water on top of the spray just to make sure it spreads out. It's powdered ink. Powdered ink. Thank you. Yay, birthday. It's tomorrow. Yes. Back on my birthday, I was born on Easter Sunday. I was an Easter Sunday baby. Not that that really matters, but that was the day that it was. It was Easter Sunday. Way, way back. Alright, let's pick some new colors. I'm gonna try to do better. I tend to go heavy-handed with painting Nebula, and I don't let the first layer dry before I do another one. I just keep piling on, and you end up with like a lack of bright colors in the background because everything just kind of fades into it. So I'm gonna try to leave my first layers alone. So let's pick on a new color. There's a green sitting over here, already on the palette. Let's add some green in here. Get some really dark green in there. Alright. And maybe we do some blue. I have a message. Hey, but oh, I bet I know what this is for. I forgot to ask for something to be turned off at work that doesn't need to be on. Give me 2 seconds. I think I should try a second coat of pink in the top square. Yeah, I can do that. I think I'm gonna let things dry, and then I'm gonna add some richer color in. I'm gonna try to add some richer color in, on the second layer, so that the lighter background will actually pop for once. I always go overboard and heavy-handed. That's exactly what it was. I'm so sorry. Let me tell him. God, I hate when I go to type something and it just zips away. I'm like, I didn't even hit send. There we go. Oh, sorry. Make sure I'm not on screen. Perfect. All right, great. That's work taken care of. Yeah, we'll hit that. Oh, I wanted to do something. Let me grab some paper towel. Crinkle, 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 crinkle. Dab, 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 dab. All right, we're just gonna let that sit there and think about what it did. Okay, I'll set that to the side and use it in a minute. Okay. God, it dries so quick when I... Okay, so I can't use the spray method for that. I gotta brush the water on as I need it. I thought it was gonna be slick. It is not. Alright. Let's pick another area. We can do some of the opera pink. But opera pink fades. So maybe let's mix it. There's some of a yellow-orange color right here. Let's pick some of that up. Well, that's pretty. It's a nice kind of a coral orange color. Let me turn the light over here on. It might help make it easier to see. And I will also consider zooming in to 1 second. Is that too much? Yeah, there we go, right in the middle. There we go. What am I gonna do for my birthday? Food. We're gonna go out to eat at a nice all-you-can-eat sushi restaurant that we've been putting off because it's expensive. We normally go to it, but it's fairly expensive right now to go. So we reserve it for more special occasions or when we're just feeling like it. So we're gonna go out to eat, and aside from that, I don't think anything really. Just staying at home, relaxing, having a good time. Okay. Yeah, I think mainly that. Nothing crazy. We don't really have a desire to just get out and go do stuff. Is that weird? Like we get so much joy out of just staying at home and playing games or just watching videos together or just relaxing, being away from other people. It's just so much more joy creating sometimes than going out. Some of it might also be we don't know where to go out and what to do. It feels like a lot of the stuff that we enjoy just kind of gets taken away from us, you know? Like, I used to love going thrifting, but so many people go thrifting, it just kills the experience. And there's not really any room or money in buying a lot of stuff that's out thrifting because, I mean, there's nowhere to put it. And that's been a big problem. We just run out of space, you know? So it's just like the joy in it is gone. Because like one of the things I loved doing was going and looking for old like retro computers, and most of them don't keep them anymore. They either sell them online or they trash them, and it kills me seeing that they do that. Like knowing it happens is one thing, but seeing it hurts. It's so weird. Like you're literally seeing what little history we have of retro computers that are being thrown haphazardly, carelessly on pallets. And like, I can't begin to tell you the desire when I see those pallets and I see a good computer on it, knowing where it's going. I want to go rip that thing off the pallet and toss it in the car and run as fast as I can and just get the hell out of Dodge and just be like, I saved you. It feels like saving puppies from a puppy mill. I mean, there's something about it that it just bugs me seeing it. So, like Goodwill, I hate going there and seeing that outside when they like publicly show what they're doing at some of the locations. It just makes me irritated. And knowing the few that do make it in just go for stupid amounts of money uh, because they start charging hobbyist prices for them now based off of eBay pricing, it just drives me nuts. I just don't do it anymore because all it does is stress me out. So that joy is gone. So I don't know. Like we've had these discussions on the weekend. It's like, hey, so do you want to go somewhere? And it's like, I don't know. I'm the one that's out all week. You tell me. What do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't want to go anywhere. Like sometimes I do, and sometimes I'm like, I don't know. Like I feel like going out, but I don't want to do anything. Like I don't want to go to a place with a capital P. You know what I mean? Like I don't have a desire for a destination, but when those moments happen, sometimes we just go out and do some grocery shopping or go out and drive along like side road or go out to eat somewhere that we haven't gone for a long time. We just fill the time with that. Sometimes we go to antique malls. Those are at least a little bit more high class than a thrift store and nowhere near as busy. It's more premium pricing for stuff, but sometimes you find really cool things that you can't find anywhere else. Not weird at all. There's no place like home. Thank you, Dorothy. It's not weird. We stay in a lot. Yeah. Yeah. It's tough. I don't know. I mean, and being able to discover what a new thing is that I'd like to do and going out and finding that new thing, it's just as difficult. You know, it's really hard. We were just talking about you. We all deny because you would die if you knew we were laughing at you. Momentary love before the band begins to play. There's an overwhelming stench of a pie. Alright. Come on now, come on now. Enjoy the humor of the situation. Come on now. I've got some puddling going on right there. I need to grab that in a sec. Come with me, Puddle. You don't need to be here. Don't wait till I'm home, but I'm sure I can hear you crying. I said where I was, but you doubted because it's the caller ID you're buying. Okay, stop that. Here to read it all my belongings on. Alright, let's grab some Lunar Black. I actually need to refill Lunar Black at some point. I'll do that later. Okay. I need to lurk for a while and do responsible adult things. Gross. I mean, it's okay. Oh, jeez. 1 second. I know, right? Sorry, that's going to be going off for a second. And you're hearing it even worse because there's no filtering going on right now with that NVIDIA broadcast I was talking about earlier. No, my other half is cooking, and every now and then just like a burst of something gets up in the air, and like one of the smoke detectors down the hall goes off because it's hypersensitive. Nothing's burning. We don't cook on high heat ever. It's just a little puff of something goes up from something being cooked well, and it's like freaking out. And it's just the one that does it. It's crazy. Oh my god, it's freaking my dog out. Lol, I had to turn off the sound. I'm so sorry. It's just a joke. Oh, I know. No, it's fine. They are just truly hypersensitive. The detectors. Some of them are just stupid. We have to usually, like, he's pulling it out now. We got a box fan. Sometimes we have to set up down at the end of the hall where that one is, just to kind of circulate the air, because it just kind of like vortexes right there, and it just sets it off. It takes nothing. Steam can set them off sometimes. Yeah, absolutely. Truly, the one next to our kitchen. So obviously there's not one in the kitchen, but just outside of it, there's one there, and that one is like another vortex, and it goes off all the time too. So I've got a little Vornado brand, I think is what it's called. Little fan that's on like a little tilty like head thing, and we have that one up on a shelf, up pointed at it. So whenever we're gonna cook, we turn it on just to make sure it has regular clean air circulating toward it so it doesn't settle, because that sets that one off all the time too. So we just have really, really hypersensitive smoke detectors here. It is going to be all right. It is going to be fine. Let's get this top section started. Excuse me. Let me have some coffee, sorry. Okay. All right. What color we can do here? Ooh, I know. I know. Let's do some yellow. Yep. And get some particular spots in nice and bright. And let's get some phthalo blue. And that should go nicely and give us a little greenage. Okay. We'll just start with that, let that sit and think about what it did. Let's get some more clean water. Let's hit this guy over here. Please stay alive. Okay. It's got some Aussie red gold. I do blue there. I can do blue in this one. But I get you to counter blue being on the opposite side over there. I can still add a blue. How about that one? Cobalt. Blue and orange go together nicely. At least on the edges. Anywhere it needs to be sparse. I mean, I know it muddies up a little bit, but it's fine. gray makes clouds. So some of that is actually not bad, actually. I'm not gonna lie, I actually kind of like that. Maybe I'm just gonna cover all the blue up and let that be a really pretty gray. Yeah, that worked out nice. Bring it down from above, yeah. I'll be that girl, you would be right over. There'll be no tomorrow. Me as myself. Just someone who perhaps as me would be worth noticing. I'll be that girl who would be right over. Got some seepage from the cell next to it. Right? Let's do some violet. Oops. I'll be that girl who would be right over. Okay. Let's hit the next area. Okay. If you do look into the brush show, I think Jackson's has it a lot cheaper. Or if you send me your address, I could send you some. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, let me look at it and see what it is. You said it was powdered ink? Like, how is it designed to be used? Is it meant to be mixed with water to hydrate it? Is it meant to go on a wet surface and then spread? I imagine since it's like a dehydrated ink, I'm guessing it's meant to be diluted in water. But I don't know. I've never heard of it before. How about this? Here, let's do lunar blue. You sprinkle it out over a wet surface and it explodes in color. Or yes, you can put a little in a dish and water and use it that way. However, we have our watercolors for that. Exactly. Interesting. Interesting. Let's look it up. Thinking about it, I'm trying to visualize it. I'm like, I want to see what it looks like. Unlock. Come on, play nice. Happy Earth Day, enjoy your time. Oh, thank you. I'll try. Okay, anything? Nope, nothing. Got it. Brusho. Let's look it up on Instagram because we can probably find someone using it and they can get an idea for it better. Search. Brusho. Well, that's not going to work. It got added to the end of the last thing I searched for. Brisho. No. Bruh. Why can't I type today? Oh my god, I still am not typing. There we go. Whoa. Focus. Focus, you son of a gun. It's right in front of you. Why aren't you focusing? Stop. Okay, well, you get to look at it from a distance. I don't know if that is it or not. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Okay, I get it. It's basically powder, concentrate. It's very concentrated and strong, and adding the water makes it just go crazy. It's very similar to the watercolor inks that I use, which I can probably do here in a bit because this is going to have to dry. I already got a puddle forming. Let me fix this really quick. Get out of here. And while I'm at it, you and a little bit of you, and just add some texture and stop it from entirely puddling. There we go. I like this one. This one came out nice. That's a nice combination. The kind of golden yellow and reds, like a maroon color, is nice. Powdered pigment. Yeah. That's so cool. God, now I kind of want to do that. Let me finish with this because this is going to end up needing a second layer at some point anyway. So I'm probably not going to finish this one today, but I can bounce back on it on Monday. But let's do the last section, and then I'm going to grab another sheet, probably the little one I had, and try some liquid watercolor on it because I haven't done that forever. And then we can revisit this one on Monday and enhance it, and then put stars on it. All right. Was one. What are you to say? Sorry. What are you sorry for? You didn't do anything. Guys, hey, you led me to a rabbit hole? Oh no, that's not bad. That's not a bad thing at all. All right, let me make some room to set this to the side, and I'm going to grab a smaller sheet of paper. One sec. It took me 2 more to get over the loss. Whoa, whoa. Wrote me those letters. And every time I remember the taste of your lip gloss, we never really knew each other anyway. We never really knew each other anyway. Maybe we always saw right through each other anyway. But we never really knew each other anyway. There were times when I wanted to hurt you, and there were times when I know that I did. Whoa, whoa. There were times when I thought I would kill you. But can you blame me? I was only a kid. And we never respected each other. There we go. Scoop the palette off. Bring some of these over here so I can see. All right. Memory is a strange thing. Maybe we never really knew each other anyway. Yeah, to believe it was over. Ooh, and it took me too long to get over the loss. Whoa, whoa. When you wrote me those letters. Hey. Whoa. Get lost. Because I was 3 inches shorter than. And it's not fair to say that it's because I was only 15 years old. But maybe it's fair to say there was a lack of communication. Speaking of communication, I can get a job, I could pay the phone bills, I could cut the lawn, cut my hair, cut out my cholesterol, I could work overtime, I could work in the mine, I could do it all for you, but I don't want to. We never really knew each other anyway. We never really knew each other anyway. Maybe we always sorrow through each other anyway. And we never really knew each other anyway. Hey! Alright. Okay. Let's take a look. So I normally do this on mineral paper. The watercolor inks and acrylics do really well on a blooming on mineral paper, but I'm going to try it on arches. It should be fine. Just wet the whole paper down, or at least some areas of it, and then we'll connect it and let it bloom. Let's pick some colors. We're not going to do them all because they'll muddy really badly. So I've got a couple of really nice colors here. There's a really beautiful Quin Magenta. It's really pretty. The thing on the brush is it has a couple pigments in it that mix, making the color. So it's more like granulating watercolors. Well, that's kind of a good thing though, because I've kind of been falling down a rabbit hole of granulating watercolor. I really like the look. So I'm fine with that. We have ourselves a beautiful magenta. I only have one green in this, leaf green. We've got 2 red options. I've got a acrylic, flame red. This is acrylic. It's a flame red. I'll move it to the side. These are watercolor inks. This one is a cadmium red hue, so it's a little orangey, slightly, a little yellowish. For blues, I've got a ultramarine blue dark. We've got ourselves a cerulean hue, kind of a light blue color. I've got an indigo. It's not labeled as that, but it is an indigo. I have an ivory black. Put that over here with the white. I have a silver. It's truly like a metallic silver. There's not much of it left, so I have to use it sparingly. I got myself a yellow. This one's cadmium yellow hue. The white options. And I've got, oh no, ivory black we already talked about. This one is burnt umber. We have a brown burnt umber. Are any of those by making? No. Nearly all of them are aquafine, and the rest are, most of them are aquafine. Let's see, aquafine, 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 ecoline. The indigo is ecoline. The yellow is aquafine. The burnt umber is aquafine. Ivory black. Chinese white is aquafine. All of those are watercolor inks. The silver is aquafine as well. And then what's left is a Artist Loft brand acrylic white. The new acrylic white ink. Titanium white that my other half just got. And then the acrylic ink flame red, and it's by FW? So I say, it's always interesting blending watercolor and acrylic inks together because they don't always want to blend into each other, but they blend like on top of each other kind of nicely and make streaks. You have a Liquitex brand acrylic inks. It's nice. I have what was available at Michael's. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of these were on sale, and we got like a steal. They put all of them in the clearance bin as everything was knocked off. So I had like two or so. I think just the white, and everything else was a giant, big like 25, $30 or something for all the rest, or something less than that. It was like they were knocked down to like $2 or $3 each, sometimes less. So it was a nice combo. So what I'm gonna do? I can do one of two things. I can do like I do mineral color, mineral paper, I mean, and put some of the ink directly down on the dry paper in like some lines next to each other and on top of each other and around each other, and then wet all of the rest of the paper around it, and then wet just the connection between the wet area and the line of ink on both sides so that it spreads and blooms on its own. Or I can wet the entire paper and then dropper it or set it down directly in targeted areas and let it bloom from the touch points. What do you think? Or a third option if you've got one. I'm going to sit here and sip some coffee, and if I don't hear anything, I'm just going to go wild. I never get to ask you guys for opinions. The second kind, yep. So wet the whole page down, fairly damp. Really saturate the paper with arches so it can take it. Just try not to let it puddle. And then we're gonna use the droppers and apply some directly in some spots, okay? Probably going abstract. I don't think I'm going for like, let's make a tree, because it's just gonna go everywhere anyway. But I think we're gonna go abstract and just try different colors and play. So I'm not gonna use every color here because that'll just turn everything a ugly brownish, grayish mess. So I need to pick some targeted colors. And I should kind of pick in like one side of the color wheel. I shouldn't combine like reds with blues and yellows. So if anything, yellow is bright, but it tends to blend with everything and make it murky. So that's a maybe, but a maybe not. Green, same thing. Green is really difficult to manage, but sometimes that'll work. I always like doing things that are blue. I like doing things that are red. And magenta seems really nice. So I could do a combination of those guys. And maybe we can do a couple streaks of yellow, but that it's going to disappear. And we could always add some white, like acrylic on it. I think I'm going to stay away from the silver. I overuse it when I do this, so I'm going to put it to the side. Blue, magenta, a couple splashes of yellow. You think so? Yeah? Okay. We got yellow. The magenta is gorgeous. So what would you prefer out of the blue options? I've got indigo. I've got the cerulean hue, which is a very sky blue kind of color, right? And then this ultramarine blue dark is what it calls itself. Of course, it's not going to focus, but you can see the color is pretty nice and kind of royal bluish in a way. Or a combination of these. You can do a combination of them. Cerulean, yeah? Alright, that's what we're doing. We'll start there and see how it goes, and if we see anything else that we want, we can play with it. In Ultra? Yep. We'll do both. Alright. We're doing it. Do you want both reds? The Queen Magenta and the red hue, the Cad red? Or are we going to stay away from Cad red? You want just the 4? Just these guys? Or do you want to try a different kind of red? Or this flame red acrylic? We can stick entirely with magenta. We have 2 blues. Stay away from Cad, might muddy. Okay. Makes sense. Flame red is acrylic, so it would probably streak more than anything. So we can keep it to the side, if anything. Okay, so for prep, I'm going to shake the bottles. And then I'm going to crack them open because they're hard to open when I need them in a hurry. So I'm going to get them prepared. If I can open it. There we go. Sometimes they seal really strong. All right. That one is open. I'm going to fill the dropper up and leave it set to the side and keep it careful. All right. Same thing. The magenta. Spatter and drop a tiny white. I like that. I'll do that. We have acrylic and we have watercolor white. Watercolor white will probably be fine. I have tons of it as well. It'll blend with it. It won't sit on top of it. The acrylic ink will sit on top and it'll probably create puddles and streaks, especially if I move it around. So we could do that as well. I'll keep them to the side here. All right, let's crack open this one. Oh, that was the wrong hand for that. Whew, there we go. Okay. And I squeezed it, or at least tried to. All right, let's open the cerulean. Same deal, crack it open. Oh my god. There we go. All right, it's open. Let's fill the dropper. It's sitting there, okay. And our ultramarine blue dark. All right. Gonna get your hand workout in. Yeah, it feels like it, right? Man, the cramps, let me tell you. All right. Okay, dropper is filled on that one as well. Okay. And just for funsies, let's get the white watercolor ink opened. Open! There we go. Whew, that was tough. All right, that is open into the side. Yeah, the clearance prices are on some of them. $5 compared to $9. So yeah, I mean, some of them were pretty expensive, but I think worth it. All right, I think that's enough. If anything, I can open the acrylic if I want to have some that'll sit on top, but it's not high enough up to be able to put into the stopper. The stopper is plugged up and not working in this one now, and it's almost empty. So I could open the new one, but let's try to do it without acrylic and just see how we do with just watercolor inks. All right, so water, I wouldn't because it dries out easy. Exactly. All right, so let me go ahead and start with spray. I'll just spray water on to start with to try to get an even coating of it. And then I'll grab some water from my container and spread it around a little bit. I've got a little hair got caught right there. Get out of here. Come on. There we go. Right, and let's get some clean water. And I'm just gonna brush back and forth, and then I'll do up and down to even it out a little bit. I had yellow. I must have had yellow on the brush. I don't know what from. I must not have cleaned it off thoroughly. It'll be okay. We're already putting yellow in here, so it'll be okay. It's not a lot, thankfully. It's kind of spreading out. Okay. I'll let that soak for a few seconds. The paper towel is soaking wet. I normally do a 3-fold of paper towel, but I only pulled off 2 this time, so it just drenched way easier than normal. Alright. Start with yellow, because it's easy to cover up, and if I put it on top, it's just going to disappear. So let's just pick some spots and do some yellow. We can drop some, let it spread, and then draw some on a little bit. Alright, let's hit some magenta. And it's wet enough when we're done. We could probably tilt a little bit if we wanted to. Right? Our cerulean. Tilt and spray? Yeah, I think that'll be a good idea too, yeah. But I'm gonna grab some fresh paper towel when that comes, because I think it's gonna be wet enough that it's gonna want to go places, right? Okay. Here's our ultramarine blue. It's very dark. Ooh, that's dangerous. I don't want to make a mess all over the place. I think let's tilt and play with this for a brief moment. We've got some spray ready, some water if we need it. Let me grab some paper towel. Got a little muddy in the middle, so I'm going to try to pick up some of it. Let's add some of our white. It's quite a lot brighter than just the watercolor. Yeah? It's really bright. I mean, it's ink. So it's still ink. It's watercolor ink, but it's very bright. And it behaves like very differently too on the mineral paper. It blooms and spreads in totally different kinds of ways. But it's interesting on regular watercolor paper. I like it. What do we think about texture? Should we look at salt or anything like that being added? Should I manually add any watercolor with the brush from the non-inks to it? I have a salt shaker handy if we want to add salt. My little salt egg. Or leave it. Up to you, yeah? You can do some in a little bit. Because it's going to have to sit and dry anyway. I'm not going to necessarily be able to make this dry. It's pretty sopping wet. So, some of the blue areas, well, that just all bounced off. I'll just let it go where it wants. I don't want to overdo it because salt has a way of bounding up on itself. Let's stop there. And then just let it do its thing. Pick up the loose salt that I spilled. Here we are. Yeah, I think I'll let that totally dry. Maybe a little black. Oh yeah, we got that. Well, we got indigo. I've got indigo and black, so I can do a little bit of both really quick and just add a couple spots around the edges and just use the ink if we want to, since we have it. And, you know, if I can open it. It's so tightly closed. It is smelling good in here. I don't know what's being cooked, but it smells wonderful. Oh my god, I cannot get this open. Let me use that paper towel. There we go. I just needed some traction to be able to pick it up. Alright. That might be more than enough to counter all the light in it. So just let that do its thing. Maybe I'll tilt it a little bit one more time so it's not just circles, but I like the spread on some of that. Yeah, that definitely added some texture to it. It's not just dots anymore. That helped a lot. That, letting it sit, the salt being on it, will add some new texture to it as well. I'm just going to use this and clean up any loose liquid from the edges of the tape so it doesn't stay too puddled in that area. Stay there, you. That's going to be a problem. I'll worry about that later. Okay. Alright. I think we have ourselves a great big steaming pile of ink. So I'm sorry, that sounds terrible. I'm going to let that sit and think about what it did. The other bits from, let me put the tape up. This is still also very wet, not so much on top, but underneath. You can see it's pretty rippled, so I'm going to let it completely dry out. And then on Monday, we're going to revisit this and see what we can add to enhance some of the brightness of the colors and add some darker areas in there to make it look more space-like, and then get some stars on it so it looks like Nebula, and then we'll peel it. And then we'll also see how this came out. We'll peel it. I'll wait to peel it until we're back on Monday. Maybe we can add some stars to this. Or we'll just leave it alone. Not everything has to be starry. I think that'll look really pretty when it's done. Alright, guys. Okay, have a great birthday. Thank you, Krista. I appreciate that. Guys, I'm going to head out. It's been 2 hours and change. I will see y'all back on Monday. you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'll try to pay attention to it. But if you guys have any suggestions for anything you'd like to see me do, I appreciate the suggestions. If you would, there is a little form underneath in my about section. In one of the cards, there's a suggestion box. Feel free to drop suggestions in there if you like. If you're bored and feel like, hey, try doing this, and I'll give it a shot. But aside from that, you guys have a great day. All right. My name is Bear. I've been barely watercoloring, and I am heading on out of here. I'm going to have a great birthday tomorrow. I'm going to pig out on as much sushi as I can eat without getting sick. And I'll tell you all about it next time. All right, guys. Have a great night. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye.